I've always been supportive of car companies who do something different. And when I think back to some of the most memorable cars I've tested through the years, names like Baja and Avalanche come to mind. Which brings me to this SUV/pickup called the Santa Cruz. Now, when I first saw it at the auto show years ago, I fell in love with the concept. But unlike most automakers who keep their experiments in the design lab, Hyundai had the guts to bring this one to market. And it's a curiosity worth exploring.
Looking back through my 20-plus years of test drives, the Subaru Baja left an indelible mark for its quirky combination of car and truck. I always wanted one, and in the more than 15 years since its cancellation, there really hasn't been anything quite like it, until the Santa Cruz. And though it's small for a pickup, it's really not that small, similar in length to Hyundai's Palisade 3-row SUV. But unlike most other trucks, it still fits in your garage. It's easily maneuverable in the parking lot and can be parallel parked in the city. You won't need a ladder to get into it. The bed is covered by a sliding lockable tonneau cover, and it drives a lot like a Santa Fe, not a truck. This top trim limited model receives a turbocharged engine and all-wheel drive as standard, though a front-wheel drive model is coming in early 2022. It's 22 mpg bests the old Baja Turbo by over 20%, but this number still seems less than impressive, considering you can get a gas-powered Ram 1500 with nearly identical mileage, or a new Ford Maverick that nets 25 mpg. But this engine is no slouch, generating 281 horsepower and 311 pound-feet of torque, working through an 8-speed dual-clutch transmission. This one could also tow 5,000 pounds and carry over 1,600 pounds in the bed. Throw in some floor mats, and the MSRP is $41,140. Now, for those who don't care about such niceties as leather seats, the big screen Navi, and smart cruise control, you can go for the base SE front-wheel drive for about $25,000. But this Limited, with its 20-inch wheels, ventilated front seats, and surround view monitor, is very well stocked with modern car luxuries that give it a premium SUV vibe.
Though Hyundai calls this an SUV truck crossover, the interior is decidedly car-like and a little bland. I wish they had toughened it up a bit by adding some contrasting colors or some unique Santa Cruz details. It is, however, very quiet and comfortable with good tech, but it just doesn't seem to fit what the Santa Cruz is all about.
Hyundai says this softer approach is on purpose, contrasting with the boldness of the exterior. But for me, I'd rather something a little more truck-like. And if you've watched any of my Hyundai videos of late, then you already know that wireless CarPlay and Android Auto is reserved for the small 8-inch screen, and that Phone as a Key only works with Android devices, just so you're aware. In general, the cabin reminds me a lot of the Santa Cruz's cousin, the new Tucson, as does the grille with the integrated daytime running lights. I love the exterior design. From any angle, it has presence, with a dynamic profile and sport truck back end. This is called Hampton Gray, and though it's not the most exciting color Hyundai offers, it plays nicely with the light to give the Santa Cruz a sophisticated, athletic appearance.
So here's the 4-foot composite bed, replete with an assisted tailgate, sliding and lockable tonneau cover, underbed and in-wall storage compartments, LED lighting, a power outlet, and numerous tie-down points, which has even allowed me to put my kayak back here. And if you want to create a support shelf to, say, carry 4x4 sheets of plywood, you can do that with these formings in the sidewall, which can hold two 2x6s. But there are some caveats with this entire setup.
It's not a huge deal, but the strap to help pull the tonneau cover closed can be a little difficult to reach. It's not watertight, and when you take it to the car wash, you should leave it open, as Hyundai says the coating may be damaged by the chemicals. And if I thought living with the 5-foot bed in my old Tacoma was tough at times, this 4-foot space presents even more challenges. Like I said, I've been able to get my kayak around without any troubles, but 2 of them might be difficult. Hyundai envisions the Santa Cruz's bed as a place to put muddy gear and other stuff you don't want to throw into the back of your SUV. But if you want to make this space more versatile, Hyundai's accessory shop sells a bed extender, a cargo bed mat and net, and roof crossbars for carriers.
Simply put, the Santa Cruz drives like a car. It is nimble, peppy, quiet, comfortable, and anti-truck, if you will. The turbo is really strong, the ride is smooth, and it drives with an unexpected purpose that you're going to like. And with 8.6 inches of ground clearance, some solid Michelin light truck tires, and a switch here to lock in traction to all four wheels, the Santa Cruz is a good little off-roader. And it has the benefit of a full-time all-wheel drive system and not a part-time setup like some other small trucks. I'm just surprised that Hyundai didn't include some sort of off-road setting here in addition to the snow mode.
H-Track is not a torque vectoring all-wheel drive system, but it can send up to 50% of the power to the rear. It's a pleasure to drive in any setting, but all week I've been dreaming up cool things Hyundai could do to the Santa Cruz that would ratchet up the excitement, like an N-line sort of thing, but in a SEMA off-road kind of way. They would be remiss not to maximize the coolness factor practically begging to come out. Lastly, the rear seats are upright as you would expect in a truck like this, but legroom isn't a problem, and they also fold up to reveal some storage, at least on one side. And with the Limited, you get HVAC vents back here. And as I mentioned in my Tucson review, the Highway Driving Assistant is as good as Smart Cruise with steering assist gets without being a true hands-off driving feature. It works on federal interstates. As for the infotainment system, I live with this one in my Kona EV, and I can attest it's an excellent setup with strong voice commands and cool features. I love the combination of quirky, versatile, and interesting, and the Santa Cruz checks all of those boxes. For TestDriveNow.com, I'm Steve Hammis.